What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Mackie Rob, aka Mito. You already know. Excuse me, I had to burp. I thought I had to burp, but apparently not. But hope y'all doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just real quick, I want to say I apologize, for me not uploading recently. Not gonna go too much into it, but I've been going through a lot with family, and I've had a couple passings. My grandfather actually just passed away not too long ago, like a couple weeks ago, and we did his celebration of life last week. So it was a good celebration. A lot of the family was there, a lot of family that I haven't seen in a long time, and a lot of motherfuckers that I didn't even recognize were family. I got to see them too, so it was nice for that. But yeah, that's pretty much where I've been. Recent, like the last month, it's just been going through that because it was like my uncle passed, and then they had his funeral, and then like literally not even like maybe like 2-3 days later, boom, my grandfather's in the hospital because he suffered a stroke, and unfortunately he couldn't bounce back from that, so he ended up passing not too long after he was hospitalized. So yeah, it's just been back to back, man. So yeah, that's where I've been at. But anyways, we back, made another video. There's been a lot that's happened since I haven't been posting, especially with the games and stuff. I've seen a couple things, I've seen people have started to actually play like Assassin's Creed Black Flag early, and I want to make a video on that, just kind of like checking that out, reacting to that. This right here, what we're talking about today, is apparently, I saw this like a few days ago, people talking about it, but Star Citizen has raised over $1 billion, dog. $1 billion. Okay, and if you're wondering, like, obviously fucking $1 billion is such a crazy number regardless of what it is, but like, in case you're wondering, like, well, okay, why is it such a big deal for this game? Because Star Citizen, right, just to give you like a quick breakdown, I believe Star Citizen has been in development for a very long time. At least I want to say like 2014. When did Star Citizen start development? Here you go. I would say come out late 2011. So let's say 2012. So around 2012 is when they started development for this game, right? With that in mind, and if in case you're wondering, well, how do they get you to like support them? Like what do you pay for? What do you get? Well, the biggest thing for them, I'm actually gonna pull it up here, is they have you buy there you go. They have a whole website, okay, where they have you buy. Oh, I just realized I think my Overwatch is still open. Sorry. I was like hearing that Overwatch music in the background. I'm so sorry. I hope that didn't bother anybody too much. But okay, so basically you buy ships, okay? You buy real ships. This is a badass website. Hold on. I want to see the ships, fool. Am I not allowed to like look at ships because I don't own the game yet? Oh no, here you go. Okay. So yeah. So you buy ships, almost like in GTA. You know how like in GTA 5 you pop up your phone and then you go to like the well, I forget, I haven't played it in so long. But you know what I'm talking about, the website where you buy all your fucking cars and shit, like the supercars or whatever. Kind of same idea here. You buy these ships, and these ships are real money. And they range from cheap, like $50-$60 cheap, $50-$60 ships, and they could go up to $200 ships. I've seen some that are like almost $1,000, I believe. You got $60, okay, $60, $140 little fucking tank thingy. I wonder, can I like do like most expensive? Because I just want to see that real quick. Available to purchase, unavailable to purchase. Oh, here you go. We'll do both, and price ranges. Yeah, we'll go over 500. So as you can see, some of these are unavailable for purchase. But you can see $600 for a massive ship, and it's a crew size of 6 people. It tells you what kind of ship, and people buy these. And just to be clear, though, it's not like some people some individuals buy them, but I think the idea is like you get like a whole crew of people that you play with, and then y'all kind of pitch in for these like more expensive type of ships. But dude, This is real life money. This is not in-game money. You can use real life money to pay for these ships, and a lot of people do that. Clearly, they reached $1 billion, and the game's not even released yet. It's still fully in development. It's not released at all. But they'll sell you ships for fucking 700. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. So yeah. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Again, a lot of these are not, dude. 1900. It's a okay. It's a frigate. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. But it's like dude. The Aegis Idris has long served the UEE Navy as its go-to frigate, striking fear into every soul unfortunate enough to meet it. Fly the civilianized Idris P to experience the full might of humanity's most devastating capital class gunship. So it's just a giant ship that fits other smaller jets and shit in it. Okay. But it's $2,000 fucking dollars, bro. $2,000. I like how it's like it's flight ready, but you can't buy it. Up, that's up. All right, let's go.
Guys, it has officially happened. Star Citizen, 14 years after it was first announced and fundraised for, they have raised over $1 billion. I'm not joking.
Dude, that's crazy. Sorry, but look at that. Out of 6.5 million people who play this, which is, by the way, a crazy number of people who are playing a game that's not even finished yet. So, I mean, it's there. The want for it is clearly there. But out of 6.5 million players, they raised over $1 billion. $1,005,777,327. That's crazy, bro. I need to develop a game or some shit, dude, and just be like, yo, this is like real Jork Simulator. We're working on the shit to make you feel the jorkin, but like, pay us, bro. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, but that's just crazy.
Billion.
That's crazy.
I'm not joking. Over $1 billion. According to their own counter, yesterday they crossed the threshold, raised $1 billion across 6.5 million Star Citizens who have contributed to that total, which is just crazy. Like, that's insane.
Fucking
Officially
crazy.
revealed in 2012, they have been fundraising for this game ever since, and it has certainly expanded and changed in scope in that time, been rebuilt a couple of times, and it is a technical marvel even still. They also have a single-player campaign version of the game that is set to launch sometime this year that stars even people like Henry Cavill and Mark Hamill, though there is reason to believe it's going to be delayed even further. And as for the persistent universe, that still has no end in sight. It is far from 1.0, and some people will say it'll launch 1.0 next year. Others are saying 5 years. Some people are saying never. Who knows? The point is they've got $1 billion. They can do whatever they want. But in this video, I actually
can do whatever they
some
want.
of the common misconceptions with the game, kind of debunk some of the misinformation about it, because
Sorry, I just gotta up that quality.
There is a lot of disinfo that goes around with Star Citizen because people see the big fundraise number, which is insane and ridiculous for a game that has not officially launched yet. And then they extrapolate a bunch of other stuff and lies start to get spread very, very quickly. And so as a result, a lot of people don't understand what this actually is. There's a bunch of misunderstanding, and I'm going to try to help you understand it here now. But that does not change the fact that this is insane. To raise $1 billion for a game that doesn't exist fully yet, that's ridiculous. The first common misconception...
See, that's where I feel like that's not even the developer's fault at that point, because like I said earlier, like they make sure you know what you're getting into. It's just crazy that people are still like, you know what? My hard-earned money, yeah, I'll fucking pay $100-$200 for a ship to support the game. Like, I get it. It's your money. You do what you want. I just feel like as gamers, it's like, it's a cool thing, but I feel like it's a little bit, it's a bit of a tightrope, you know? Because like I feel like if other companies see that and see like, yo, people are willing to pay for the idea of something and whatever, and they're willing to they're willing to keep paying you for an extended period of time for it. Yo, let's do that. Let's say we're gonna do a crazy game, just never fully release it though. And like you just constantly fucking sucking money and shit, you know, under the guise of we're still in development. I don't know. $1 billion. You've been doing this shit since like 2012. We're in 2026, bro. Come on. Like there's no fucking way you can't finish this game with $1 billion. That's crazy to me.
Conception is that the game is not playable. That's not true. It is playable. It's a little wonky, as you can see.
That motherfucker
Couldn't
floating.
describe it that better if I tried. It's still wonky. It doesn't run particularly well, but you can boot into it, which is where I am right now. And I'm actually going to show you some of the impressive tech that they built.
It does
out
look really
for it
cool
in this video as we go through this. I think this misconception started just from people hearing stuff like, oh, the game is not, oh, that was weird. The game hasn't launched yet officially, so therefore, it doesn't exist at all. And that's not true. You can actually get it and you can play it right now. They just require you to either play it on a free weekend or to buy like a starter pack, which is like $45. You get a starter ship and you can start playing. One of the other misconceptions I've seen is that you have to spend a ton of money to even get a ship. Again, that's not true. If you get the starter pack or whatever for like $45, you get one of these starter ships, which is more than enough to start playing. However, if you do spend a lot of money, you get way cooler ships. I'm just going to say that now. We'll circle back to that point later. But yeah, you don't technically need to spend $1,000 to start playing. You can start playing either on a free weekend or for like $45 if you get the starter pack. And in that capacity, I think that this is roughly in line with a lot of other like early access games where you pay $40, you do get access to the game. It is a premium you are paying and you are basically testing the game for the devs. So you're not going to get like a feature complete version of the game, but you go into it knowing that. And I think most people who are spending $45 to get into Star Citizen early understand that they're not getting the finished game because it might not ever drop. Just saying. But anyway, once we get to our ship, you can see we just
but that's the crazy part. Oh, I messed up my video. Whoops. But that's the crazy part to me. It's like okay, you're willing to spend the $40, and you know in the back of your mind, but this game could also never release. But I'm okay with spending the 40. Like, bro, that's crazy. That's just we're in such weird times when it comes to being consumers and stuff. Like like games and stuff have really just put us in a really awkward spot as customers, because now we just got people paying for the idea of something that could potentially come. That's crazy to me. I don't know, man. That's fucking crazy. I can't see myself doing some shit like that. But the fact that there's almost 7 million people that are okay with that, it's just like, I know it's not a lot of people, but it is a lot of people. And it's just like, bro, like, it just makes me worried for what these companies are trying to like, for what these companies could think of, these gaming companies could think of when they see Star Citizen and they see how much money it's made over this period of time without ever fully releasing, just kind of fixing it as they're going, you know? And but apparently, potentially, could never release too. Like, if I was an Activision or like a fucking Sony, I would be paying absolute crazy attention to Star Citizen, because that is exactly what I would do. Next is just be like, you know what, let's really fucking go in, let's find a genre that we really want to like fucking revolutionize and like do some crazy shit in. We'll give them these crazy promises. We'll give them early access the whole time. They can play it the whole time we're developing it, but they gotta pay us, you know. If they want cooler stuff, they gotta pay for it, you know. We'll give them the cheap early shit, cheap $40. But if they want cooler shit, they want a cooler vehicle, they want cooler clothes, cooler weapons, you gotta pay for that real money type shit. Like, that's what I would do if I was a company.
Till our place in the queue has opened up, and then we are good to go once we've started the ship. As you can see, I'm in it right now, rocking and rolling. All I have to do
it's a cool
to
looking
take
ship
off,
though.
Little tap of space bar, and to lift the landing gear and expand fully, and
that is really cool.
We are good to go. No load screens, no nothing. Just boom, straight out into space. And this is one point I gotta give them their flowers on. Like, they have raised $1 billion, but they have developed some tech that is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I've talked about other space exploration games, Starfield, and those games, you know, some of them are definitely lacking when it comes to the tech needed to really give the like space exploration sim genre its dues. Like, dude.
See, this is where I will disagree, because we have a game that's already doing this. It's called No Man's Sky. Okay, and it's not like, sure, it's not like super like realistic looking. It's not like, you know, like whatever. It's got its cartoony like, you know, design to it. But as far as like being able to just hop in a ship, take off from a place, go into outer space without no loading screen, that's No Man's Sky's been doing that. You could literally, you put a base down on a planet, whatever, build there, put your little landing dock. Then you want to leave, you just get out of your base, walk up to your ship, get in the ship, turn it on, take off. You literally take off from the planet and you go take off, get out of the planet, go through the atmosphere, and then boom, you're right in outer space. And then from there you could be like, cool, I'm gonna go to this planet, and then you could just fly over there. Or you'd be like, yo, I'm gonna go to this fucking what are they called? Those like those stores or whatever. What is it called? The space station. You go over to the space stations and shit. You can just go there, and there's no loading screen. You just fly there, get in, boom. Now you're at the space station. Now you can go around, shop for shit. Then you can just get back in your ship, boom, get up, take off, and boom, you're right outside the space station, right into outer space. No Man's Sky's already been doing the whole no loading thing for outer space. So that's where I'm like not giving Star Citizen too much credit here, because, bro, this is basic. This is basic as hell. No Man's Sky's been doing this for I think 10 years now, because it came out in 2016. We're in 2020. Yeah, so about 10 years. No Man's Sky's been doing this. So you don't really get credit for me, at least.
This type of game,
it feels like this should be basic,
you have to
and
have some insane tech. You have to be able to do some ridiculous things. Like, I was just inside that base with NPCs and other players, and now I'm just casually flying through an asteroid belt. It's crazy, but it can get even crazier. I'm going to try and select a spot to go to. So if I just scroll out, you can see on my little map here, I've got the little solar system we've got here, and I can select where I want to go. Maybe I want to go to the Gateway. Maybe I want to go all the way up to Levski. I could select wherever I want. But you know what? I'm going to select, let's do the Stanton Gateway. I'm going to select that. I can close out this menu, and then I can use my warp drive to get over there. Again, seamlessly. Don't need any load screens or nothing. I just select this, let it spool up, and then once we're ready to go, skadoosh. Look at that. And we're warping. I'm warping. Oh my God, I'm warping. Look at me warp. Wow, it's happening. I'm warping full speed. Oh my God. And technically on big ships too, you can just like hop out and walk around your ship, do other stuff, socialize with your buddies, do maintenance stuff, work on your weapons, whatever you need to do while you're traveling. And you can see, I can pull up my map and you can actually follow where I'm going as I warp. Again, this is a starter ship, so I'm going to be traveling quite slowly, and it's going to take an estimated 3 minutes in total for me to travel that time because space is big. But that will give us time.
See, okay, like, again, No Man's Sky kind of does that now, granted. Their warp is, it's kind of a loading screen-ish. Like, you warp, but, like, you can't really, like, get out. You can't, because that's cool. The fact that you can warp, and in that time that it takes you to get from point A to point B, you can just get up from your ship and just like go walk around your ship, go do stuff. That's cool. That's something that No Man's Sky hasn't done yet. So that's unique to this game. I like that. But I mean, No Man's Sky, you can warp the same way. You know, you can pinpoint somewhere and then you can pulse drive yourself. As long as you're in the same solar system, you can pulse drive yourself from one planet to the other with ease. No loading screen. The only time you do warp, and it's, I guess you would consider a loading screen, would be when you're going from one galaxy to another galaxy. But even then, that's like probably one of the like few loading screens in the entire game, and it's like 40 seconds, the most like I've ever seen. So I mean, it's cool. Again, though, I'm just saying, No Man's Sky's been doing this shit. So this game, for having $1 billion, I feel like should be a little further than that. Graphically, though, this game fucking beats No Man's Sky out of the water, bro. Fucking fully. The graphics in this game look amazing.
Time to discuss one of the other more controversial aspects of Star Citizen, which is how the hell do you raise $1 billion for a game that doesn't exist yet? Well, in previous Star Citizen videos I've made, I've shown you guys some of the high-end ships that you can get access to. In one of my earlier Star Citizen videos from a couple years ago, I even got the chance to play in one of the massive space yachts that you can buy. Basically, I was streaming, and then some Star Citizen fans realized I was streaming, came over there, and were incredibly helpful, super nice. I mean, the community is genuinely awesome. They are very, very kind. Even though people make fun of them for spending a lot of money, they are genuinely very, very kind and supportive. And so we all got together. They shared all of their ships. We all landed on the same planets together, and we did like a full runway of ships so we could all see what they looked like. And one player even started just throwing in-game money at me just as a gift to buy ships and experiment with. Now, that's where the first distinction comes. There's two currencies in Star Citizen: real world money, where you bought it with real cash, and then the in-game credits that they have. Those in-game credits are earned within the game's universe, but every time they do a server wipe, all of that goes away and you restart it, as do the ships you bought with the in-game currency. If you bought a ship with real world money, it's not wiped, but if you bought it with in-game currency, it is wiped. Now, they've said that their goal is ultimately to get rid of those wipes, and they don't want to do those if they can help it, and that is apparently true. They want to avoid wipes. So when you buy a ship in-game with real money or with in-game money, you are good and you will have it forever.
Well, that's my problem. It's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. If you're wiping an entire server because you have a bug in your game where you need to reset the whole thing, why is it only targeting people that use the in-game currency to buy their ships? Why is it only they get wiped and not the people who pay for it? Is it not the same type of code? Is it not the same shit? That's the thing that I don't understand. I wish someone would explain to me, because to me it just sounds like it's a cheap excuse to be like, oh, we're wiping your shit, but if you want to keep it, you want to keep your cool ships that you work so hard to get and you spend so much time getting, pay us. Give us your money. Give it to me money. and then they'll keep it. Like it just sounds shady to me.
Forever. That's the ultimate goal of what they're doing. But as right now, they do still happen. Wipes happen whenever they have like some major technical thing that has to be cleared out. They're more rare nowadays than they used to be. Used to be like once a year, twice a year you'd get one. Now they're much more rare, but just to be clear, you can't have your ships wiped, and that's why I don't have that yacht anymore, because it was wiped. But when I was flying those big ships,
That's
it really showed
unfortunate.
me how remarkable those high-end ships are. I mean, it can change your experience, not just because you get places way, way faster, but also because you can play with literally dozens of other players in real time. We're about to arrive, so I wanted to zoom out. But you can, like, one of the ships we flew had a basketball court inside. Like, it was outrageous.
That's pretty
and
cool.
insane.
That's sick.
What is possible with those super high-end ships that cost a lot of money. You might be wondering how much. Well, some of these ships can cost anywhere from $300 even into the thousands of dollars, depending. Look, we're about to get there. Skadoosh.
Skadoosh.
And we're there. Look at that. Look at that. And this station we can go into and we can walk around it. We can go to vendors within it just like that. Easy peasy. How crazy is that? Absolutely remarkable. Like really, truly a marvel of software engineering to get this running at all. Look at that. Little stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, No Man's Sky's been doing that for years. If you want to say it's a marvel because of, you know, it's able to do that with the graphic quality that it has, and actually it's actually able to maintain that graphical quality somewhat while it does that, I'll give you that. That's good. That's good. But the actual, I feel like the actual mechanic of warp driving or pull, whatever you want to call it, warping from one place to another, is like that's been done for a long time. I don't think they should get a lot of credit for that. That's pretty basic, you know. But doing it with these graphics though, really fucking good though. Really good. I mean, it does look really cool too. Like I know I'm like shitting on it a lot, but like I'll be honest, I am excited for this shit. I've been excited for this game for a long time. I just refuse to pay for it if it's not fully out yet. But if this game was to drop, fully released, everything good, fuck, I'd be playing this game forever. I think this game probably, like, I would still play GTA 6 when it came out, but I would be fighting to play either GTA or this game. Like, that's how much I would like a game like this. I can't get behind it not being fully released, but I still gotta pay for shit.
The game doesn't run super great, even still, but you got to give it to them. That's pretty remarkable, man. That's pretty crazy. But what I was saying is that the really high-end ships are super cool, but they are primarily designed for big crews. You need a lot of players, human beings, in those ships to make them work properly. And as a result, those ships tend to be bought up by like actual factions or crews of players who are friends or in Discord communities together, and they all pitch in like 40, 50 bucks together to buy the big ship, which is why like when you see that there's $1,000 ship or something, it doesn't always mean that some guy swiped his credit card for $1,000. That does happen, absolutely, but a lot of the time the biggest stuff is bought by communities that are working together.
That makes sense.
I've noticed though is that almost every single interaction I've had
I said that earlier
into Star Citizen, they have expressed how they like you don't need a lot of money to play the game. You don't need to spend a lot of money to enjoy the game, but they happen to have spent hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You know, I can't help but notice that they will constantly say you don't need to. I mean, the most I've ever spent is like $600, and I'm like, that's a lot, man.
That's
like,
a lot.
You don't need to.
Oh, you don't need to. Like, you don't need to. You still have fun. I haven't spent much. I only spent $600. Brother, that's a well, not anymore, but back in the day, that's a whole console. That's a whole other PlayStation, Xbox. $600 for this one game is crazy, bro. I don't know. I say that, but then like, you know, I've spent a lot of money on microtransactions for like Fortnite and stuff. I'm pretty sure I've spent probably around like maybe $400 in Fortnite just with skins alone. So I mean, like, I get it. You know, you get your game you get to spend some money on it. I get it. But man, it's just the fact that this game is not fully released and is talked about like maybe it could never release. Like, that's just crazy. You're literally at that point just throwing money out a window. And just hoping if fucking the wind picks it back up and gives it back to you. Like, I don't know. That's just crazy to me, man.
But that is still an insane amount. But I think that brings us to the second point, which is that Star Citizen, for a lot of the players who enjoy it, it is their hobby. Like, they are not console gamers. They're not PC gamers. They're Star Citizen. This is their game. This is what they play. This is what they enjoy. And it is their hobby. So they will spend $500 on a ship if that means they'll enjoy it and use it. Just like somebody will spend $500 on golf clubs. Just like somebody
Yeah.
will go and spend $500 on a bunch of sneakers or one pair of sneakers. I don't know shoes. But like that's because it's their hobby. They're willing to spend a lot of money on it because they love it so much. And honestly, like, who am I to judge if you're an adult and you have expendable income and you want to spend it however you want to spend it? Like, I personally don't get it. I don't think I'd ever be able to spend thousands on a ship or ships in a game that isn't in 1.0. Like, I just don't get it. But I like nice watches. I like golf. I can see buying golf clubs and how some people might think that's stupid. So, like, who am I to judge, I guess? But you might.
Well, I mean, kind of. I get the comparison, but like that's a little different, bud. Because like you're buying whatever you're buying as far as golf clubs and watches, you're buying the actual product fully finished. It's not like you're going into the Rolly store and being like, "Let me get a watch," and you spent like fucking $3,000 on a Rolex. I don't know how much they are, dude. I don't know. You can tell I'm poor. I don't know. But like, you say you go up in a watch store, you spend $3,000 on a nice watch or whatever, and comparing it to Star Citizen, I guess it would be like you spend that money and then they give you like the face of the watch, like the clock, but like not the band. It's like, well, I can tell the time, I just can't put it on my wrist. Like, I don't know. It's not really a watch. I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to. It's telling me the time, but I can't wear it like a watch. It's not fully finished. You know, when you're buying golf clubs, shoes, all this stuff, you're buying the fully finished product for what it is. This game, yes, technically is a game because you pay for it and then you get a game. You'll be able to play the game. But it's not finished. It's buggy. It gets wipes. You can earn stuff. You can spend hours, hundreds of hours in this game earning the money to buy all these ships, and then whoopsie daisy, there's a glitch. Fuck all that time. Ow, I hit myself in the ear. Fuck all that time. Give us your ship. You're toast. You want to keep your shit? Just pay us. It's just that's not the same thing. At least not fully. You know, I get it's their hobby. I respect it. But it's not the same as buying golf clubs and watches. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all can tell me that. But I don't see it. I don't think it's the same because you're buying a real finished product. This game is not finished.
I'd be wondering, like, what do you even do? So far, Luke, you've just been, like, flying around. Like, what do you actually do in Star Citizen? Well, it's a lot easier said than demonstrated because the game is so massive. So allow me to run through a brief description. This very much is a space sim game. So you can do almost anything. You can deliver cargo, being like an actual delivery driver of resources between locations for pay. You can go and mine. One of the most common play styles in the game is actually mining materials. There's also combat challenges. There's racing where you can actually take your ships and race on planets. There are a bunch of quests that are actively being built out and expanded upon by the dev team. But I think the most fun you can have in Star Citizen is actually what probably is closely compared to like RP servers in other big online games. These are the guys that actually go in and role play as pirates. They role play as medics who seek out people who need assistance after a combat encounter and will actually fly out to where they are and help them. They spend a lot of time in the game. They spend a lot of money in the game, but they also have communities built up around it of people that are also role playing within the game and get super immersed within it. And honestly, that stuff is really, really cool. And I think that's kind of awesome to have a community of other players where you're all in it and you're all like on the same page. I just think that's cool. But I think this is, again, the key thing to understand about Star Citizen, because so many of us who are like more console gamers or PC gamers, we play a lot of different stuff. We look at this and we're like, I don't understand it. Like how? What do you even do? Like, how do you spend hundreds of dollars in this game and then find that to be worth it? It's because part of what makes like Star Citizen is the community. It's the players who are working together, who are immersed together, and are all often working in factions together. Like it's just on a different level, and it is a community. It's kind of its own bubble, certainly, but it's still there. You know, it's significant. But speaking of bubble, I think that's also part of the trouble that Star Citizen has found itself in. The bubble that is actively like playing a lot and that is engaged with it, spending money and time and resources, blood, sweat, and tears in the game. They are used to how things operate. And other players on the outside just do not find it acceptable whatsoever. Like, for me, seeing a game charge hundreds or even thousands of dollars of total value for in-game cosmetics, that's insane. And that's a turnoff for me. I see that and I don't want to play that game. I think that that's ridiculous. But when you've been in that community for like a decade, it doesn't seem that ridiculous anymore. It's like, well, that's how they fundraise development. That's how they pay for all of these cool things we have. So it just is what it is. But once you're in that bubble, it is easy to lose sight of just how crazy that is.
Yeah.
You know? In the same vein that like a lot of players who play mobile games, they are used to spending hundreds of dollars a month on microtransactions to be competitive in that mobile game, which is insane. But you only like realize that's insane if you're outside. If you're in that ecosystem, if you're in that bubble, you might not realize how ridiculous that is to a normal, quote unquote, average player in
A
different
normie
subset of the industry, you know? But I think that's where Star Citizen is going to run into serious trouble as time goes by. And that's kind of where I want to take this. And it's something I've talked about a lot when it comes to Star Citizen, which is just that a lot of the stuff that you can get away with a really diehard committed community that has been with you for a decade and spent $1 billion with you, that stuff does not fly with the outside gaming community. You know, like what they're looking to do effectively is try and find a way to take Star Citizen mainstream. That's the ultimate goal for the game, is to get it on, I imagine, like mainline like gaming coverage, to have people like you and me aware of the game, and hopefully, I'm sure, spending money in the game. And they also want to launch Squadron 42 and put that out and have that be popular among single player gamers, because that influxes a ton of cash into the company to finish the persistent universe. And all of these things are really,
I mean, instead of trying to double dip with your fan, you're already fucking dude, that's where you're already double dipping with your fans and stuff. Just make that the single player of Star Citizen. Like you're already you're already nickel and diming your fans a little bit by making them pay for ships and stuff. Just give them the single player and Star Citizen. Fuck it. You know, people are still gonna. That's the thing. Single player games are great, but they're not your money maker. If that's what you're so worried about, where you're like, yo, I want the single player to be good because I want it to make us a lot of money, just mix it with Star Citizen. Put it in, make it the single player campaign for Star Citizen instead. Because if people are gonna buy it, they're gonna play your single player, but most people are just gonna want to do multiplayer. Most people want to interact with other people. Like Luke said, they have factions, little groups or whatever, where they link up and they do stuff. They role play as pirates or medics or delivery people or guns for hire or whatever the hell. Like, people want that freedom to do and play however they want. And a single player is great for someone who enjoys story mode, but those only last for so long, which is literally as long as the game's story is, 50, 60 hours or however long it is. Once that's done, even if it has a lot of replayability, most people are not going to replay a game they've already beaten, especially a single player one, you know, unless they're like achievement hunting or something most of the time. But other than that, they're going to play the multiplayer, bro, you know? So you just make it, if you're so worried about that, make it a part of Star Citizen. Make it the single player campaign for Star Citizen. And then from there, you just focus on making the game actually playable for multiplayer and then release it, you know? But yeah.
Really, you know, noble goals, and I wish them the best of luck, but I'm just gonna be real. If you launch a game on like PlayStation that has thousands of dollars worth of microtransactions and you're not called NBA 2K26, I don't think you get away with that. I don't think that goes over super well. I think it's going to be memed on into oblivion and not tolerated. I mean, it already has kind of been memed on into oblivion, but you get what I mean. I mean, I just don't think that the average gaming community is going to put up with that in the same way that they put up with it when you're talking about like a diehard community, right? You know, you can have cool tech and stuff like being able to land anywhere on any surface because your game is like a technological marvel. That's cool, but like as cool as that is, to be able to just like casually go and hop out of your ship anywhere, like do I think that will lead to players like tolerating that stuff? I don't think so. I don't think so. And this has been like the big question mark for Star Citizen for a while, is like, what's the end goal? What's the end goal? Like, is their goal to just keep the game in like perpetual development and then just keep making money forever? And
that's what it seems like to me.
Or do they actually aim to launch a 1.0 and like find a way to go mainstream with it? And that's where I split with a lot of the core community, because understand the goal, according to Robert Space Industries and according to a lot of the fans of this game, the goal is to launch it in 1.0, and then ultimately they claim they want to get rid of selling ships. That's their goal. They want to cut the ability to buy like ships in the game for $200, $300, $400. They want it to be only earnable in the game as like an in-game currency thing that you do missions for, and it really is a universe contained within it, and that the ships are just a way for them to fundraise to build the game out. I'm sorry.
I was just real quick. He's probably the same thing I'm about to say, but I'm sorry. I call bullshit. I call bullshit, bro. They made $1 billion off of just selling ships. Yes, it was across an entire decade, but still. They made $1 billion off of just selling ships. I fucking doubt they're gonna make you fucking... I fucking doubt. You know what? This is what I see them doing. If they do that, what they'll do is potentially, like every other game company does, is okay, you're not going to use real life money to pay for these ships. You're going to use the in-game currency. However, we're going to make these ships that are worth the $200, $300, $400 normally. We're going to make we're going to make their value with the in-game currency so fucking extremely high that you're just going to eventually want to buy the in-game currency from the store. You're going to want to buy a pack or something that gives you like, I don't know, like $1 million fucking in-game dollars or whatever, to buy the ship. So you still pay us anyways, but you know you're still using the in-game money to pay for the ship, but you just paid us to give you a little boost for that. That's what I see them doing on some like shark card shit, like GTA did. That's what I see. Because bull fucking shit. You don't even need to be like one of those fucking like executive suits that only that's like only focuses about marketing and money, just to see how much fucking money can be made through this game. A billion with a game not released off of just ships. You're gonna keep selling ships. Nah, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And honestly, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm proven totally wrong, because then I will fucking eat crow. I don't give a fuck. I will be like, alright, y'all got me. Cool. But I don't believe it.
I don't believe that. I just don't believe that we're going to get rid of paid ships. If they do, I will gladly eat crow and be so glad.
Why do we say the same shit, bro? Why? I just... Anyways. But, yeah.
I just don't understand how they could build a team of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people around the world, paying their salaries, using paid ships to do it, raising $1 billion in the meantime. And then one day they just decide out of the goodness of their heart to like get rid of that. I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. But I would bet close to $1 billion that they do not do it. That they will basically just keep doing things the way that they always have. And they'll say something like, oh, well, our fans really like the ships. They like being able to pay a premium for their clan to be able to get them and fundraise for further development. So we decided not to cut ships and buying ships. I just don't see why.
I'm telling you, they're just going to make whatever the value is for the in-game currency. It's just going to be so massive that it's going to end up pushing you to just buy like an in-game currency boost with your real life money to get the ship. They're just gonna do a little workaround so it doesn't, technically you're not paying for the ship with real money.
Have a system that has built them up and given them $1 billion. I don't see why they would cut that out of charity. Like, I just don't think that they'll do it. I think it's a business.
That's not happening.
They're not going to magically change their minds just out of kindness. That being said, does that mean that the game never can go mainstream? Honestly, I think it makes it way harder to go mainstream. If you are actually like trying to get mainstream players to come in and engage with you, I don't think you can keep doing things the way that you always have been. I just don't think that goes over well personally. And this is the crazy thing about Star Citizen, is that if you take that statement that they want to cut ships and selling ships to you, but once they reach 1.0, but selling ships to you constitutes over $1 billion of funds raised. They have just created an incentive to never finish the game. Right? Like, if they finish the game, they either have to break their promise and keep the ships in there, or they have to decide to, like, I guess, cut the ships and lose out on all of the money that they've been making, and then they're gonna have to lay off everybody because they can't afford them anymore. Like, that doesn't go over well. So they've created a system where they are actively incentivized to never, ever finish the game. They might, and I think they probably do finish Squadron 42, which is the single-player game, but even that is taking way longer than expected. A lot of the original motion capture was done like a decade ago, and I'm not sure if it's going to hold up. Like, it was probably cutting edge back a decade ago, but it's not cutting edge today, by modern standards, so I don't know how that goes over. I just think they have a big problem on their hands where there's not a clear end game in sight. Like, if they were to go and launch it in 1.0, the Persistent Universe.
I also feel like this single player, whatever it's called, Squadron 47, whatever the hell it's called, and I feel like this thing is just not going to do as well as they think it will. Only because I feel like people are just kind of tired of shooters, no? Like, I feel like that's just become a sentiment recently, is a lot of people are just kind of over first-person shooters in general. Like, I'm not even just talking about something like Call of Duty. People have been over Call of Duty for a fat minute. But I'm talking about, like, just anything like Battlefield, Destiny, fucking Arc Raiders. I've had friends, right, where we grew up and we played, that was our jam. We was playing first person shooters, that was our thing. We always played COD. We was playing Battlefield, Halo, all that shit. Now I try to get one of my homies to play Arc, and I mean, I know he would if I really push him for it, but he just doesn't want to. He tells me all the time, he's like, yeah, bro, I don't have a want to play any first-person shooter. I don't care for it. He's like, I just don't want to play it. And I've heard that from quite a few people. So that's where I feel like if this game came out like a decade ago, it would be fucking great. But because of, I feel like, just the first person shooter saturation within games, I feel like it'll do good, but I don't think it'll do what they think it might do. It's just people don't want to play shooters that much anymore, unless I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know, but that's just what I've heard a lot. I still like shooters personally. That's always my jam. But I'm definitely hearing a lot more discourse with people just saying like they don't want to play first person shooters anymore. They want something different, you know.
And launch Squadron 42 and cut out all the toxic microtransactions and stuff, or macro transactions. I think players would play it, be like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. And they'd have solid player bases for a while, but they would not be making anywhere near the money they are right now. I just personally don't see that happening. And their development cadence is way, way lower than it needs to be in order to keep pace with like other live service games. And so as a result, I don't think they'd be able to keep up unless they can figure out how to work way, way faster. I just think they're in a really weird position, and there's not really another studio in a position quite like them because they are very unique in this regard, but it's gonna be fascinating to see how they play it out. But effectively, there's no end in sight. They're still working on a persistent universe, is still obviously raising a bunch of money. They just crossed $1 billion, and Squadron 42 is allegedly coming at some point this year, though apparently it looks like it's gonna be delayed into next year. And who knows if it launches next year. But what I do know is that Squadron 42 is, at this point, a real anomaly in the industry. They've raised an ungodly amount of money. They've been able to do it over the course of 14, almost 15 years. And it's absolutely remarkable that they are still around, still kicking, and raising more money than they ever have. It shows that people like what they see. They want this type of game. I think they just want the 1.0 version. And the community that's there, that's spending the lion's share of the money, they like what they have now enough to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on it. It's just whether they can break into the mainstream and whether that money that they currently are getting is enough to sustain them long term, which by most accounts, it's probably not. Like, they are raising a ton of money. Yes, $1 billion over 14 years is crazy, but you're talking about a studio with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of devs around the world. It's not actually that much money when you break it up over the course of almost 15 years. That money gets spread pretty thin. So they need to find some way of operating where they can either lower costs or get a huge influx of cash. I think that's what Squadron 42 is supposed to be, and they're hoping that they can find some way to get more players into Persistent Universe, but I'm just gonna be real. Selling ships for $300 a pop is a tough sell. Like, what I was able to just do was legitimately cool. The fact that you can fly anywhere in the Persistent Universe, hop out of your ship, explore it, and then take back off and fly again, that all is really, really cool. I like that. I think it's awesome, but they do have a ways to go before they really are able to get, I think, like the Starfield fans to come over and spend time and money in this. I think they would like this game if they were to try it, but they've got to do a good amount of work to get the more mainstream, especially like console audience, compelled and interested in what they've got here. It's just easier said than done. Easier said than done for sure.
Yeah, but like my question is like how much longer at this point, bro? You've been in development since 2012. We're in 2016. That is what? 3, 4, 5. That is... Did I say 2016? We're in 2026. We're in 2026. You've been in development since 2012. So hold on. So 2012, 2023, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 13 years. Yeah. I don't know. I suck at math. I still count with my fingers. Don't make fun of me. Fuck you. But 13 years you've been in development. 13 years. $1 billion. How much longer do you fucking need to fucking... How much longer do you need to get this shit right? How much more money do you need? 2 billion? 3 billion? 4 billion? Fuck. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It takes these games, some of these games, I get it. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be it's supposed to like revolutionize space games or whatever. But dude, $1 billion, 13 years later, yeah, fuck. And you still got a lot of work to go before it's released, bro. I'm just saying, this game better be fucking crispy perfect when it comes out. I know it won't be, but like it better be mostly good. It better be like 70% good. You know, I could give like a 30% to like, you know, glitches and bugs and stuff because it's a massive game. There's always going to be some fucking fuck shit that happens within the code. But I'll give you like, if it's like a good 70%, like, yeah, we're good. Like, you could play it. It's got good quality. Doesn't crash that often. You know, whatever. I give that to you. But this game's bad. This game's gotta be so good when it actually does drop. It's gotta be so fire. It's really gotta fucking blow shit out of the water. Otherwise, all that time, I feel like that's it too. I feel like a part of why they're kind of like on like really releasing it a little bit might be the fact that if they release it too early and not good enough, that it'll be 13 years and literally now pretty much $1 billion just in the hole for nothing. So I think that they're kind of, I feel like they're a little apprehensive with their shit too, a little bit.
Ooh. Bear in mind, this is running on 5090 and it's chugging. It's chugging. But if you're intrigued,
it's hard,
with
man.
You should go check out some of the other videos I've done on the game where, like, we tried the really fancy ships, where we tested the persistent entity streaming, which is where, like, anywhere in this universe, I can drop like a piece of trash or a water bottle, like on that rock right by the tip of my wing. I can drop something there, and as long as no other player interacts with it or takes it, it will be there in 6 months when I come back. Like, they have built out a system to have fully dynamic, like, persistent entity streaming. So I could have like one of these asteroids or something where it's my base, my cargo hold, and I just drop like stuff off there whenever I want to steal something and escape, and I'll come back to it later. And it just becomes my little hidey hole that's specific to me, and it will be there in 6 months when I come back in the persistent universe, assuming no server wipes, and it will still be there. That's amazing tech. There's a lot of really cool stuff, but they just have to get over this hurdle of how they monetize it and how they pay for the development, because at this point it is kind of insane that we are 14 years in. They've raised $1 billion, and the game is big. The game has some impressive tech, and it does exist, which, you know, some people have said it doesn't. Some people act like it's totally unplayable. It is playable. You can get in there and try it and honestly have a lot of fun, but it is still not feature complete, and it still runs like ass. So they have some work to do, but it's a fascinating story, and there is nothing quite like it. But they are still kicking. They're still kicking. They better be for $1 billion. My goodness. But like I said, if you're interested in all this, check out my other videos. I'll have them linked in the description box below, so you can check those out. But until next time, my friends, much love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Well, yeah, like I said, I know it sounds like I'm hating on this game. I'm just worried. I just get worried about what this means as far as being consumers, you know. I just get worried about what this means for us in the future with these gaming companies, because they, listen, they've been watching Rockstar just trying to see, ooh, are they gonna fucking charge their game a certain price so that we could do it? So if they're already doing that with Rockstar, I can already imagine what they're probably looking at low-key with Star Citizen, where they're just like, yo, that's a lot of money that we could be dipping into right there. So that's what makes me worried. I just want us to be protected as consumers. That's it. I just don't want to be I just don't want to feel like I'm constantly being nickel and dime just for wanting to enjoy a hobby, you know? But anyways, man, that's it for the video. If you like it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, this original video for Luke will be in the description below, so make sure y'all hit that. Come back over here, give him a like, show him some love, subscribe to him. He's always got good gaming content. And then for me as well, don't forget to subscribe to me, leave a comment, like I said. Check out the TikTok below as well, see if you like any of the videos there. I also be streaming on there from time to time. I kind of do like streaming on there because it's a bit of an easier interface for me to actually interact with people versus trying to do it with YouTube and stuff. So I do stream on there. I'm trying to make more videos and stuff of just about whatever, just me talking about something. So if you guys have anything interesting you want me to talk about or whatever, let me know. But yeah, man, it's been Lil Makarov, and I will catch y'all in the next one, bro. Peace out. Let's go.